Today's Cajun Court.
I didn't ask, I left.
It's
got
real
the hell out of
convenient that she has no evidence that there's any actual animal there.
I'm not crazy, and I'm not a
liar.
liar. And I refuse to be taken in.
Don't
come in here telling me about no. I rule this court.
Yeah?
Okay? I'm Justice Jackie.
All rise. The Honorable Jacqueline A. Scott preside. Cajun Court is now in session.
Don't make me drop my hammer.
He's the drunk. He did me.
Just a minute. If brains was dynamite, you couldn't even blow your nose. When the bull is up to your ears, keep your mouth shut.
I ain't going back to jail. Because this is a railroad job.
She probably slashed my tires with her teeth.
This isn't art. This is velvet pink.
An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Take it from me, you can overcome anything. Please change your life. Get him, Rod. Oh, we'll get along just fine when you realize I am the boss.
The plaintiff is suing the defendant because she claims she saw bats flying around through her home. She is terrified to live in the defendant's property. The defendant is countersuing the plaintiff for her failure to comply with their lease agreement. The defendant claims that he has never seen such a thing. Will this be an episode of Batman and Robin? Stay tuned to find out what happens next on today's Cajun Court TV.
Cajun Court is now in session. The Honorable Jacqueline A. Scott is presiding. All of the litigants have been sworn in. This is case number 18, the Batcave.
Okay, let's get started. This is an interesting one. Now
Yes,
you're suing for $2,500, and we have the defendant here with your countersuit for $3,500. Is that correct? Well, plaintiff,
Yes, Your
I'm going to
Honor.
start with you. Just tell us what's going on and with these uninvited guests.
So I moved into the apartment complex that I'm in under some emotional circumstances after I lost my husband. So I didn't have a lot of time to check out the apartment, but I moved in and the first week or so was okay. And then I was in the shower once and I kept hearing these noises. It was nighttime and I didn't know what it was. And I just thought maybe, you know, I really have been married my whole adult life, so I've never lived on my own. So it startled me a lot, as you can imagine when you're taking a shower and you hear things. Until a couple of days later, I kept hearing the same thing, even when I was in bed at night. And it scared me finally to the point I had to leave. So I left, having only been in the apartment for, you know, a couple of weeks.
Okay. You move into this complex. So is it a one-bedroom, two-bedroom, three-bedroom?
It's small, one bedroom, and the bathroom is, you know, right off of the bedroom. There's one main living area and a little efficiency kitchen, and just a kind of an entryway to get into the apartment. There's really not much more.
What was your rent a month? How much did you pay?
About $1,200 a month.
And did you have a lease agreement?
Of course.
And how long is it for?
6 months.
6 months? Okay.
And my understanding is that if I have problems, I contact the management and they take care of problems.
So did you have to pay a deposit? $1,200 plus a deposit? Did you have to pay a deposit?
Oh yes, I had to pay a $500 deposit before moving in as well.
Okay, so you're hearing things.
That's
in your
correct.
apartment.
And I mean, I don't know what it is. So finally, I left and went and stayed with my best friend Becca, who was nice enough to let me stay with her until this was addressed. I let the management know that there was something going on. When I went back over there to get some of my stuff during the day, because again during
wait just a minute. Why did you leave?
Well, because I didn't know what the noise was. Okay. But when I went back, I thought maybe whatever had been resolved. I looked to see if management had been there. There was a note of some sort, but I couldn't read any of it. It was real faded, like something that was picked up out of a parking lot.
So you had, the note was from whom?
I assume it was from the management, but it was very hard to read.
So you had called management?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I have a record of my phone calls and some emails, too.
Okay.
But I thought, well, maybe it had been taken care of. I go back over there because, of course, I've left all my stuff pretty much. During the day, I wasn't hearing noises, so I went back to get some things, and I heard something when it was probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I did hear something in the bathroom, and when I started to walk in that way, there was a bat that came down after me, and I'm imagining, what if I would have been in the shower and that happened? And they've not addressed it. They've not done anything about it. And so there's bats in my apartment. Would you want to live?
How do you know it was a bat?
I saw it.
Okay.
I know what a bat looks like. It wasn't hard to tell. And I mean, they're creepy and they're scary. Have you ever seen them? Have you ever had one come down in the evening and dive bomb you?
No,
Imagine being
no.
in your home and one comes after you. It's terrifying.
You mean the bat tried to attack you or something? What you mean came
It
after
came
you?
down and swooped at my head.
Okay.
And I ran out of the apartment.
I feel like ducking myself.
Yes. It was like Halloween right there.
Okay, I'm going to answer that when we get back. We're going to take a break, and I want to talk to the defendant as well. I need to hear more. I want to talk to the defendant. What do you have to say about this, sir?
Well,
And
Your
why do
Honor.
you think you have a counterclaim?
Oh, I obviously have a counterclaim. We have a lease agreement that she absconded on. But this all started when she moved in. She's obviously has her reasons for having some emotions and some anxieties about living alone. And, you know, I empathize with that. But I'm not the person that can solve all of her problems. I'm just the landlord. I take care of the apartment complex.
Well, just before you go any further, tell me your relationship with the apartment complex.
So I'm the landlord of the apartment complex.
And how
so
long have you been the landlord?
5 years.
5 years, okay. Proceed.
And, you know, people are all different. Some people you don't even know live there, quiet as a mouse. And some people are like the squeaky wheel. And she is the squeakiest of wheels.
Explain.
Starting from day one, calls, complaints, in the
About
office, out, everything. In the office, out of the office, this creaked, that creaked. My refrigerator isn't cool enough. Every day, every week, like clockwork, complaints, complaints, complaints.
Okay, do you have anything in writing or do you documentation?
I mean, all the emails, everything, the whole logs of everything that we've talked
Do you
about.
have a copy
And,
of the emails?
on my email, I didn't bring everything with me.
I have copies of emails.
Okay, we'll be with you just one moment.
But yeah, so after she's made these claims, we send the maintenance guys out every time. We never see anything. These creaks could be in her head. I don't know, because every time we go, there's nothing.
So you're trying to say that she didn't see a bat? Any bats?
I mean, I wasn't there with her when
I'm
she went
not
back to her apartment.
And I'm not a liar, Mr. Moore.
Did you try to address the issues and did you address them in writing?
Yeah, we left a note for her in the apartment. She got the carbon copy slip that she apparently just brushed away.
Carbon copy. Do you have a copy of it
Yeah,
yourself?
so we have the yellow copy.
Rod, let me see that, Rod. This just says here it's a routine inspection, floor scratches. I don't see anything about a pest control on here. I don't.
Well, you have to have pests to control.
Yeah.
We had pests. I had bats.
You had creaking sounds
had
that you
bats.
heard that you
So,
complained
ma'am,
about.
you said earlier you had to go live with someone.
Yes.
And how long did you stay with that person?
I've been with Becca and her husband for about 2 months now, and paying for part of my living expenses there, of course, because it's not right to live there
So
for free.
have you paid the rent for 2
Well,
months?
Correct, because the bats are still there. Maybe you can make the bats pay.
Okay. Do you have any evidence that the bats are in the apartment?
I have one time found in the bathroom below where the vent is that they've come in. I have found droppings, and I have pictures of that.
Okay, let me see that, Rod. Well, I really can't determine. I don't know what bat droppings look like, so we might have to check that during recess.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not brave enough to stand around and take pictures or video of the bats when they're swooping down
Well,
at
I'm
me.
sure they're
so
not going to stand there and let you and do a photo shoot with you.
I didn't ask. I left.
But
I
it's
got
real
the hell out of
convenient that she has no evidence that this is
bat-infested
any actual
apartment.
animal there.
Yeah.
Oh, and Your Honor, my friend that I'm living with, Becca, she has a coworker. Come to find out afterwards, Casey And Casey lived in the same complex before I did, come to find out, because she was discussing this with her coworker.
Well, you know,
and she made
that's hearsay, but this is Cajun court, so I can allow it.
A document that she has said she had the same problems and contacted maintenance several times, contacted the landlord, and nothing was done.
Let me see that, Rod.
So I'm not the only one that's had this problem.
she sent you that. Did you think to bring her to Cajun court so she can?
She's working. She's not available.
Casey Steinfeld. Did she live there?
Name rings a bell, but we have 50 people that live there.
Yes or no question.
I think so, maybe. I don't know
Think
all
so,
of them personally.
Maybe. Check your phone. We'll be back, and we'll discuss that when we come back in session. We're back in session. Did you have the opportunity to check your phone? I'm sure everybody put all their business on the phone now, so I'm sure you have your landlord. I'm sure you got all the information about your tenants.
I have it. This Casey person, there was a Casey that lived at our apartment complex.
Casey's last name?
I think you said Steinfeld? Steinfeld?
Yeah, okay. So it appears that Casey had a complaint, and the same complaint here.
Well, a lot of people have complaints.
And it says she lived at the townhouse. She lived there, and the reason she's not there is because of a bat problem. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember that, no.
You know what? You don't forget about a bat. And somebody complained about a bat. My understanding is 0, but everybody's familiar with that. So you are aware that there was a bat in your complex.
In China or in our apartment complex?
In your apartment complex. Were you the landlord?
I mean, I live there. I've never seen a bat there.
Okay.
You haven't been in my apartment.
We've sent our maintenance guys there. They don't see a bat. No one's seen a bat in your apartment. You might not have even seen a bat in your apartment. You don't have photos of that.
I'm not crazy, and I'm not a liar. And I refuse to be taken advantage of.
To the defendant, please. And are you familiar with that complaint? She says she lives there and she's seen a bat, and that's the reason she left.
Well, I mean, it would be really convenient if this Casey Steinfeld would be under oath like we are. This is just a letter from somebody that might be trying to get her off the...
Don't come in here telling me about I rule this court.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm Justice Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you get that complaint? Yes or no? Yes or no?
It looks like it from here, yeah.
Ma'am, did you try to break the lease?
I would like to break the lease because I'm going to have to move out. I can't live with the bats. I'll pay for anywhere I stay, but I'm not staying there because the bats are.
How much is the deposit you had to pay?
$500.
Okay. Are you asking for the $2,500? Are you asking for your deposit back?
I would love to have that back. Okay. I've initially just, stated $2,500 for the emotional distress that I certainly didn't need at this point in my life. Okay. And, but sure, anything I've invested in the apartment I'd like to have back.
Okay, sir, tell me about your counter complaint.
All I want is what we're owed. She signed a lease for 6 months and then left for 2 months, came back to get some stuff and said she saw a bat to try to get out of paying what she had signed a contract to pay.
Well, did you ever have pest control or anybody come out to verify her complaint?
We had our maintenance guys go look, and if they saw something, we would have then escalated from there.
Are they qualified in bats, with bats?
They're qualified to see if an animal's there or not. They didn't see an animal. They didn't see anything to call pest control for.
Your company makes money for having people live in the complex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And she signed the lease, and you want her to continue to pay her lease, right?
Yeah, just like anybody that signs a contract should.
Feel obligated to check for some bats?
We did.
Don't you know that bats, it's Louisiana. Don't you know that bats, I've heard that they carry rabies. And that could be detrimental, that can be deadly.
Yeah, we take complaints like this very seriously, but if there's nothing there to fix, you can't fix what's not there.
So why are you trying to get money from her?
I'm trying to make her fill the lease.
And then you have that letter there that says someone lived there and they saw bats.
One of her friends conveniently happened to say that she saw bats a few years ago, and now she just happens to have the same complaint after she broke a lease.
I only know that I have met her, yes, and I've talked to her.
Would she lie for you now? Again, this is Cajun court.
She is not a personal friend of mine. She's not a personal friend of mine. I only met her because the conversation came up between my best friend and her.
It would have been convenient.
To work with her.
It would have been so convenient if she was here with you and your friend. I've heard enough about these bats. You know, Bud, I don't think this is a job for even Batman and Robin, that dynamic duo. Let's take a break and we'll come back. I'll come back with my ruling. Okay, we're back in session. You know, if I had to live somewhere and I saw a bat, and hopefully this plaintiff wouldn't come here and lie about seeing bats and getting out of a lease. But that's what lease agreements and contracts are for. The lessor have an obligation and the lessee is responsible for paying the rent. Now this lady had to leave out of her apartment for at least 2 months, and I believe her testimony is credible. She's only asking for $2,500. So ma'am, have you been sleeping in the apartment at all?
Not recently. Would you stay in some place where there was something
I'm asking
alive
you.
in
I don't
there?
need you to ask me. I'm asking
Of
you.
course not. I didn't know what it was at first, but you know, when I realized, and after I had one bat come at me, why would I go back in there?
Well, did you see, did anyone come and clean the apartment? And you mentioned, you showed the bat, would you appear to you to be
I can't afford a housekeeper.
bat droppings?
No.
And so then when you went back to the apartment, did you see any more?
I only saw it the
Dropping.
one time that I already spoke of.
And Your Honor, I feel like it's important to really clarify this timeline. She moved out of the apartment after hearing creaks and noises. She left for 2 months, came back to get stuff, and then sees droppings and has a bat come at her, a bat. She left before seeing anything. She broke this lease. It's clear.
I just showed you someone says that they've seen bats. They moved out because of the same situation. Why are you saying she broke the lease? Why wouldn't you? She asked me. I'm going to ask you. Would you leave?
I mean,
if you
I
saw
think
bats?
the breaking the lease isn't even an argument here. We know she did. She stopped paying. We know she broke the lease. It's what we're talking about here is whether it's justified or not. I'm saying it's not justified because she left. She stopped paying after hearing noises.
Let me
in an
put some
apartment
bats
complex.
in the vent in your bathroom and see if you stay when you hear those noises, whether you know what
I
it
don't
is or
think
not.
complex.
I
I've
did
never
ask this
seen a bat.
question. How big was that bat?
It was bat size.
Bird size.
I mean, it's a bat.
Can you give me some description of the
Blackbird.
bat?
I mean, it was bat size. It looked like a normal size.
Did it have those wings that fly up like that? You know, when I see bats,
Yeah,
they got
it
this
kind of
funny-
looks like a bird.
Kinda
Could have
like
been a bird.
No, it was a bat. I saw it up close
you
and
meant-
personal when it came down at my face.
And so how do you know it was a bat?
Because I recognize bats. I know what they look like. I've seen them before.
Well, I don't ever want to see one in person, but I've seen them on that. They have like this, not the normal wings like a bird, but there's some funny, they're scary looking.
Sometimes you can see them out even at night, at dusk, and you can see them coming down,
Rod, I
swooping
didn't
down
know
out
that
of the
bats
bushes.
attack people.
They have been known to, Your Honor.
I do a little research on that. If I saw a bat, I'd want your apartment complex. I want everything you had, because that is detriment. That would scare the daylights out of me. But I'm going to be nice. I'm going to just award you, the plaintiff, $2,500. And as it relates to your countersuit, you can be evicted for not paying the rent. But in this particular case, I am going to give the plaintiff an additional $500. That's her deposit that she paid. And I would suggest, sir, that you find someone, a maintenance man, as well as someone with pest control to check out that apartment complex and make sure that your tenants are not having to endure with bats. Judgment for the plaintiff and your claim is dismissed. Ma'am, you're free to break that lease.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're free to go.
Well, looks like we have a situation here that even Batman and Robin couldn't solve, but Justice Jackie came in and saved the day. So, plaintiff, what do you think about that?
I think it's fair, and I appreciate the extra $500 for my deposit. I wasn't expecting that. I feel like I've been through enough, and this was appropriate. This was fair.
All right, wonderful. So, defendant, how do you feel about that?
I feel like she judged the whole thing based off of a hearsay letter. This is a kangaroo bat court. I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
All right, well, Stay tuned for more episodes of Cajun Court TV. Same bat time, same bat channel.